Hello, everyone, and welcome to yes, another transfer talk. We lied last time when we said that was the last one. Patrick Blake and myself, we're back to discuss the latest transfers, the latest transfer rumors, even though it's so late in the season. It's October, mid-October. But great to have you back, Patrick. We were going to do a bit of a special one, but that's been postponed to next week. Transfers, Tom Pidcock, he's really been the big story this week with him being deselected of Il Lombardia. Kwiatkowski was even rumoured to the same team, but that's apparently not confirmed anymore or not in the loop. But yeah, what's happened, Patrick, with the Prince of Yorkshire?
Twas the night before Il Lombardia, and all around the house there was a ruckus, and it was that Pidcock wasn't selected for some reason, even though he did a very good performance at Giro dell'Emilia, finishing second place there. He wasn't selected for Il Lombardia, which is a bit of a surprise. I'm presuming people have watched this race, so, spoiler alert, but I reckon he would have been with that second group, or maybe at least a third group. He would have been fighting for a top 10 at least, let's face it, and the fact that Ineos Grenadiers didn't get a top 10 in the race. I think the highest placing was a Rensman or something, with a top 15, I want to say. So it is confusing why they didn't bring Pidcock, because obviously he would have been a good choice to bring to the race, but he wasn't, which is obviously instigated a load of more kind of talk about the turmoil with Ineos Grenadiers and whether Pidcock's going to stay. The rumour is that Q36.5, the pro-continental team, is interested in him. Whether that's whether they've actually got the resources to sign him, because I presume he's going to cost an awful lot. And also whether it's a realistic move for Pidcock to make, I'm not too sure. But what do you reckon to Q36.5 Scott as a likely home for Pidcock next year?
I mean, if it does happen, I think this completely caught us off guard. We thought that it was everyone knows that he was riding around with a Redbull helmet because he had the individual sponsors. So we all thought Redbull Bora Hansgrohe, here we come. He would fit in nicely to the Ardennes team, yada, yada, yada. Specialized, has cyclocross bikes, mountain bikes. You thought he really would just be how he is in Ineos and then fit in there. And we even speculated if Visma Lisa bike, that was a possible destination, but not for a single second. I think the pro continental ranks was going to be maybe the destination. And Q36.5, which, dog rider, I think he's doing something brilliant, but it's not exactly they're not in the fight for the promotion spots just yet. But they certainly are doing well. But it's just, if they get this is a huge scalp for them. But did you see the criticism as well? Someone said that Pidcock isn't as good as everyone thinks. I mean, our own Ewan, well, not our own Ewan, used to be our own Ewan, but Ewan, of course, is a stern critic of Pidcock. Is it only 5 victories in however many years? And but great mountain biker and great cyclocross rider.
Wasn't there an article released recently that he's wanting to focus more on road? I think it was after the Olympics mountain bike. He said that he really wants to focus on road now and stop being this jack of all trades and try and really focus on the road now, which is good to hear, as a lot of people watching this are watching road cycling, and maybe you might watch the mountain bike or the cyclocross as a little bit of an extracurricular activity.
Whoa.
I know cross is coming, obviously.
Yeah.
I know, in fact, no, cross is here, actually.
No one cares about it until December, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I think maybe with Pidcock's desire to want to focus on road, maybe he might look for a new team. There hasn't been any response from Pidcock talking about Q36.5, saying that it is, confirming it or denying it. So we're still completely in the black. It's just complete speculation. But I think that if Pidcock wasn't to move this year, I definitely think that next year would be more likely. There's just far too much uncertainty at the moment, isn't there, with Pidcock? I think that he's unsettled, and I think that he will probably be looking for a move next year. Or, maybe we'll be making another one of these videos if in 2 weeks Pidcock signs for some other team.
Do you think that Q36.5 is the right fit? obviously with someone like Pidcock, they're going to try and go for wildcards in Amstel Gold, Flèche Wallonne, Liège, Bastogne Liège, etc. I don't think they can get a Tour de France wildcard with just him.
It would be a crazy move, wouldn't it? Because, like you say, he's not going to go to like Q36.5 weren't at the Tour de France this year, which I presume Pidcock would want to go for, considering he's wanted to focus on road. He would definitely want to go to the Tour and try and do something there. So going to Q36.5 doesn't make sense in that regard, because obviously he wouldn't be able to fulfill that goal. They, of course, might get invited to, the Giro or something, for example. That's certainly a possibility, but I think there's just a lot of turmoil, and I think more than likely he'd stay at Ineos for the next year and just really be like, okay, I'm going to actually focus on the road fully this year, guys, don't worry, and see where that ends up. Because like you say, he's not going to go to like a Liège or whatever, or Amstel or whatever with Q36.5, and even if he does, is the team strong enough to support him?
I would say no, but maybe he is just the character that they're missing. They've got a lot of strong riders that have been part of the World Tour scene. Do you think it's a good move, or should he stay at Ineos? What would you do? That's a neat way to wrap that up.
I think he should go to Alpecin, actually.
Yeah, you mentioned this before as well. Yeah. But we might as well move on. It's been quite a Danish theme in this episode, or will be. And this one caught me a bit off guard, but not completely. It makes sense when you think about it, but I didn't see it coming. So Intermache Wanty used to have a Dane called Johansson, which they unfortunately did extend him, which was a shame. But now they have a new Dane of Alexander Kamp. Well, you should remember who he is, Patrick, because he won a stage of the Tour of Yorkshire when he was riding for the Redbull Readiness Pro Continental team, I think, at the time. And he's been a Danish champion in the past as well, riding with Tour de Pro Cycling for, I think, the past 2 years, and was in front of me in a cafe in Calpe. So took a bit too long paying for his macchiato. But yeah, he's moving to Intermache Wanty. Yeah. He's a puncher. He's been very good in Amstel Gold as well. Not quite a Biniam Gamay, but maybe a bit more, not as sprinter focused as Bini. He has a sprint, but maybe a bit more better in the climbs. So similar Bini type, but more towards the Ardennes, I would think.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where his role will be as a domestique, or whether he's actually going to be the guy trying to get results. It's hard to tell, because like you say, he has had some really good results in the past. I remember, like Amstel. I remember like GP of Quebec, not this year, but I think 2023 and 2022. I think he finished very well in both of those. So he can definitely blow hot and cold, but he can have these absolutely outstanding days, especially, funnily enough, on the races where there are circuits. Like a circuit finish he seems to really love. I think it's a decent move, considering that Tudor Pro Cycling have brought in Hershey and Alaphilippe. Their need to have Alexander Kamp is probably not that high, considering that they've essentially brought in people to replace him as the new punchers. So I think it makes sense that he's been looking for somewhere else. And yeah, Intermarché, why not? I'm probably doing a disservice, but I can't think of any immediate punchers that spring to mind. So yeah, why not? It's a decent move.
Why not?
Why not? Why not? He wasn't going to get that much opportunity at Tudor, so he may as well go somewhere else.
Yeah, I love how his why not option is going back to the World Tour after having been at a Pro Continental team. It's quite funny. I mean, if anyone gets like axed by a not axed, but whatever, it doesn't get extended from Pro Continental team and you get thrown that way instead of down, I think that's pretty good. But I mean, talking about another Danish rider that we thought was going to the Pro Continental ranks, not going Intermarché is not Pro Continental, but you know what I mean. A rider we thought that was going to the Pro Continental with Uno X. I mean, Alexander Kamp could have ended up there as well because it's a Danish-Norwegian team. Kasper Asgreen, we thought he was going to Uno X, but apparently EF Education Easy Post.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We were saying this before recording. I was like, this had all the hallmarks of a Uno X transfer, didn't it? Asgreen fitting with Uno X is like a hand in a glove. EF was a little bit of a curveball. I definitely didn't see that coming. Does he add to EF? I guess so. As a previous winner of the Ronde van Vlaanderen, as a winner of a Tour de France stage, or almost 2 Tour de France stages last year. It's so easy to forget how how he did that last year. And, it's like the same thing with like Wout Poels. People kind of write him off, but he won the stage of a Tour and the Vuelta last year, and people are very quick to forget the kind of successes, even though they were only just last year. So yeah, Asgreen's a good move for EF, kind of bolsters their classic squad a little bit, which I guess isn't the strongest. So yeah, it might give them a little bit more presence. And yeah, Sudar Quickstep, yeah, it's definitely not, their classics squad, I guess, has been on the downturn the last few years. I think, well, even maybe before then, the last 3-4 years, for example. So time to jump ship and maybe try and, reinvigorate your career in a different team. And EF seems like a decent place to do that.
Shame that they lost Bettiol to Astana, because then you would have had 2 Ronde van Vlaanderen winners in EF, but sad times. But anyways, one of your favorite riders this year, Pablo Castrillo. We did mention that, well, you brought this up a few episodes ago, I think, that there was a bit of a curveball. It looked like Ineos Grenadiers had signed the Spanish wonder from the Vuelta, but it's taken a bit of a turn.
Yeah, Ineos were apparently in the lead to get him, and then there was talks of them dropping the ball on that, and some other teams are being interested. Obviously, one of the main ones being Movistar, which is, funnily enough, where he's ended up going, which, again, very similar to Asgreen and the hand and the glove analogy. It's the same thing. Like Castrillo, outstanding performance at the Vuelta, 2-stage wins, Spanish rider, goes to the Spanish World Tour team. It's the logical progression for him to be taking. And I think, yeah, I like it, because Movistar, they've got rid of Arambaru this year, which again, that's a little bit of a questionable transfer for them. But they give their riders some decent freedom, and I think that Castillo is definitely, we're going to see him not just chained to like Enric Mas all the time, whatever. He's definitely going to get his own opportunities. So it's like, he's still young, he's like 23. So I think we're going to see more of him for sure. But from one Pablo to another, another Pablo has been transferring, and that is Pablo Torres, who has gone from the UAE Emirates Gen Z squad to the full-on Uno X team. And
Uno X?
Do you know how many years his contracted?
To Uno X?
Oh no, sorry, Uno X. He's gone.
I was going to say, he's not Danish or Norwegian. How does that work?
Yeah, he's gone from a UAE Team Emirates Gen Z squad to the UAE Team Emirates full team on a
okay. The other one would have been the surprise of the transfer season, I think.
A 6-year contract till 2030. I don't think anybody else has a contract up until the start of the next decade, Scott, in the World Tour. So he's 18 years old. He finished second at the Tour de l'Avenir. Obviously, he was fairly set to win that, but then he got really just shelled in like stage 5 to Condu, and then obviously Joe Blackmore ended up winning the Tour de l'Avenir. But Pablo Torres, he is one of the next sensations of cycling, whether people know it or not. This 18-year-old Spanish wonder kid, he is the next Spanish big GC prospect, alongside Juan Ayuso, obviously, who is also at UAE Team Emirates. What do you reckon to this transfer, Scott, and the fact that it's 6 years?
The fact that he's 18 and jumping over the under-23 ranks, obviously he did it this year, but that they're just not, it's like turning into an arms race already. It's like, we're going to get like 15-year-olds starting a world tour race soon. I don't know. It feels we're drifting more into the football territory. It's going to be a 13-year-old from EF Education Easy Post at the Giro d'Emilia in 3 years' time. But I don't know. This could go one of two ways, as we know. He can either sink or swim. But at least he has someone like Tan Pogačar, Juan Ayuso, that kind of role model to follow in the team. And we spoke about this as well. UAE actually have quite a decent track record of getting the super talents into like a good place to race. It's not like Ineos Grenadiers where they just like spat out. Sorry, Ineos, we keep dunking on you all the time. So yeah, I think UAE's, they probably have, like you said, 6 years. So they have a pretty good idea where they want to take him.
I mean, we all had the same worry last year with Isaac Del Toro, saying, well, where's he going to fit in with a squad with so many super talents, and he did manage to kind of craft his own little kind of avenue in there. But I must admit, Pablo Torres in here as well does raise that question again of where does he fit in with Almeida, Ayuso, Del Toro, Pogačar, Yates, Soler, Sivakov, McNulty, mixing it all, and then also with like Morgado, Narvaez as well. Like there's just so many names in this squad I'm just looking at, which are just all really, really good, and it's hard to tell where he is going to get his own opportunity.
The Vuelta a Asturias and the Vuelta a Guatemala, that's the 2 races he'll get next year to lead.
Yeah, it is interesting though. I mean, UAE with Del Toro and now Pablo Torres have really got the future kind of locked up in a sense. And, that's even just disregarding Juan Ayuso, who also had a really good year. Like, he's still only 22 years old. Yeah, I know he kind of, the whole turmoil around the Tour and him not working, but he still had a very good year. He won the Basque Country. The Basque Country after every other person crashed, but he came second in Tirreno Adriatico, only behind Jonas Vingegaard. So he's not to be discounted. So I really hope Pablo Torres gets his own opportunities, but at the end of the day, he is still only 18 years old. He's got a 6-year contract, so he's got time.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But other than that, is there any other transfers that caught your attention in this final transfer? Maybe let's hope nothing else happens again so we can do a special episode next week. But we'll see if the transfer market allows that. Is there anyone else who kind of caught your attention? Cecilia Uterup, Ludwig Uterup, the Danish, I think she rode for FDJ. She's transferred. So just keeping on the Danish theme. And you said there was an Intermache rider who's gone somewhere. Who was that?
Yeah, Rune Hellefox has gone to Inuit. I said I made a mistake again.
Oh, no, it's again.
No, he's gone to UAE Team Emirates. 2 new teams beginning with U. It's an interesting move. He was third in the Belgian TT Champs this year. Obviously, a fantastic rouleur and clearly a guy that UAE Team Emirates want to control that break formation phase. They had a lot of success with signing Pollitt this year, and I think they're just looking to really bolster that rouleur element of their team to help control the breakaways so that they can basically control the race how they want to, dictating on, Pogačar's terms, basically. So it's a good move. He's been on my radar for the last few years, so it's great to see that he's going to go to UAE Team Emirates, and, who knows, he might even win some TTs there, because they've probably got a really fast setup.
I think that's all for this final transfer talks. I mean, let's hope there's not a 9th one. We'll do our end of transfer talk episode as well next week. The one I promised this week, so hopefully next week is the moment. But anyways, with that, that's basically it for today. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the like button, that really helps as well. And check out Patrick's own channel as well, I'll Do Cycling. That'll be down in the description. But yeah, hopefully this is it for the transfer talks. We do love it, so it's just us joking. But yeah, I definitely would like to see a big one, but it could be the Pidcock one. But anyways, with that, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.